good evening, good afternoon, good morning, and all those wishes from whichever part of the world you are looking at. The Revolving Perspective. Once again, we are here bringing one more episode of the series for you. And ladies and gentlemen, this time we have somebody right from Brazil, roots in Japan and staying in Brazil. Okay, so when we look at perspectives, even perceptions about perspectives may change, and they change very, very fast. If I may tell you that, we are into a business setup and I tell you a word health, what comes to your mind? The health of the business? Obviously, that's one of the perspectives. I'm going to bring a different perspective altogether for you today through this gentleman. And once I put him on the screen and we start talking to him, you will get to realize, a small idea how it changes lives, not only for oneself, whereas for the millions of people around. And that's what it's all about. We learn from each other, we grow with each other, we avoid reinventing the wheel from learnings from others. That's what this revolving perspective is trying to put a small effort in this world in terms of learning, mutual learning, and growing together. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm putting you on here in front of me a gentleman, an entrepreneur from Brazil. And, instead of me telling his name, let's ask him a question straight away so that he introduces himself. First of all, welcome, dear. And it is a pleasure to have you out here. The honor is all ours.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate being here, GC. It was such a great invitation that I couldn't really say no to, right? So my name is Katsumi Sakamoto. Yeah, the name is proper Japanese, but my grandparents from my dad's side came from Japan to Brazil, so I'm full Brazilian.
Absolutely.
just half of my eyes are a little bit Japanese.
So that touch to the root should remain, correct?
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
Okay, so Katsumi, let me straight away jump on to, because I know I have a lot to gather from you. You have a lot to offer for our audiences. So I don't want to waste my time out here because I don't want to do an injustice with my audiences here. So straight away jumping to this question here. Why don't you, in short, take us through your entrepreneurship journey to begin with? Because I could understand you were a coach, you were a consultant, then, one small thought in your mind, and then, or rather one small desire in your mind which you worked on you, and then, it gave a shape to the entire new horizon, and you are here. So why don't you take us through those journeys, the milestones that, you observed during your journey?
Brilliant. Yeah, great idea. Yeah, it has been a very interesting one, right? Back in 2008, I graduated physical education. So my whole background, many reasons, and I'm not going to get into them right now. I just drifted away from that area. Yeah, and in 2010, I saw myself working as a salesperson in a company that was just about to open in Brazil. And I just came here to start the whole thing, and obviously became one of the leader coaches of that company, just trying to teach and train a bunch of salespeople. Okay. Yeah, so we got up to about 300 people here on the ground, working with everybody, and then a invitation appeared. One of a very big company, American company, that is based in Brazil. They made me an offer. It was very, very interesting offer that I couldn't say no to. And I became a consultant.
Very good.
Right? So that was back in 2016. So since 2010, here for 11 years now, I've been working as a leader coach and a consultant. When the pandemic struck last year, I realized that I needed to take care of my health. Yeah, I think a lot of us kind of had that perception last year, right?
Correct.
That we need to be a little bit more careful about what we do with our bodies. Yeah. And I realized that even though I had a physical education background, a degree in physical education, then I had difficulty finding proper, good, solid information on the internet on how to go about improving my health.
Understood.
Yeah, it became first, obviously, it started as a willingness to lose weight because I was a little bit overweight and I wasn't feeling quite as well as I'd expected to. And I just became addicted to the search of improving one's health. Yeah. How can I improve my health in a deeper level so I can live longer, I can be more active for more years? And then I created this program that I applied on myself to see what would actually work. And I had a fantastic result. So I started applying with some friends and they had pretty amazing results too. So I just turned it into another business and I became a health coach. Yeah. Wow. So it kind of went the full circle. Yeah. I graduated in physical education, went to the corporate business, and then I'm back now with working with health. And with all of that, I partnered up with a Swedish company that works health from within.
Okay, fantastic. So, give me a minute out here. I'll interrupt you here because I'm seeing a lot many threads going away. So I'll have to catch hold of those threads and bring it back here. Tell me a couple of questions here. Number one, a consultant helping organizations in terms of the business health, and now a health coach helping businessmen in terms of their personal health. So a circle completing here as well, correct? Now, one is this aspect. The second aspect is, you said that, despite being from a physical education background, and when you really wanted to search out for that data in terms of on the internet or everywhere, we do read a lot of data here and there going around in terms of the health and all that, but not everything is trustworthy today. Okay, so that's the real challenge that people do face, because there is a plethora of data available, but then what to trust and what not to trust is a big question out here. Now the question to you is, coming from the business angle straight away. So I want a consultant and a health coach both combined to answer this question for me. So tell me one thing. One, the lack of the data availability in terms of this important aspect, which mankind have realized so of late, rather, in terms of especially the businessmen, they have far more realized it last year after the pandemic. So this was a sort of a blessing in disguise. So unavailability of data, one. And secondly, how to convert this to a commercial proposal. Now, obviously, there would have been challenges in its own, because you made a program, applied on you, then went to the friends, good results. From there on, what? And what was the challenge that you faced? So can you take us through on that?
Yeah, definitely. I wouldn't say really lack of information availability, right?
The trustworthiness.
The trustworthiness of it, because I think there is way too much information out there, and that we get just confused on what to believe and what to not, on what to take seriously and what to not take seriously. So that's the first thing that really spiked in my mind, because okay, so I want to be that guy that brings people science-based facts about things regarding health. So what I did was I just went and researched scientific papers about the subjects that I was going to talk about. Yeah, and one of them came to be the idea of relating our physical health to our productivity inside our workplaces or in our businesses, or as a huge company. How does health implicate my profit at the end of the line regarding my workers' health?
Give me a minute out here. Quite an interesting topic that you have touched upon here. If I see, I'm also a consultant, and many a times when I'm talking to my clients in terms of the cost optimization, improving profits and all that, we intend to, or rather there is a common intention to focus on processes, resources, and your raw materials, your supply chain, your everything. Very rarely you come across somewhere wherein you say, boss, first improve your health and then we'll talk about everything else. How was this actually? So give us some more inputs on this.
The human resource in a company is debatably one of the most important ones, right?
Absolutely.
And what we just forget about is that if the human resource is not functioning properly, it's the same thing as having a machine and not oil.
Yeah, I agree.
Same idea, yeah?
Absolutely.
It's gonna just stop working every now and then, and we're gonna lose important minutes of those machines in our production line. So in a study that I analyzed, and it's not a new study, that it's from 2010, 2013, so it's not very, very recent. Dating back the pandemic, obviously because of pandemic, a lot has changed.
Correct.
But American companies were losing ciphers around $260 million every single year because of lack of productivity of employees that were absent because of their health, or half working because of some health problem or some pain or something like that. So instead of just losing all that money, why don't convert that into a
program for
smaller investment in your personnel?
Correct.
So they're going to be healthier, they're going to produce more,
absolutely,
be more productive, and also they're going to be more loyal to the company because the company is worrying about
the health,
their own health.
Absolutely.
And that's going to improve even their family time, because they're healthier, they are more energetic, more active, so they're going to finish working and they're still going to have some energy to play with their kids, for example.
So give me a minute out here again. Just hold on. I'm sorry I'm interrupting you every time because you are talking so interesting things out here. I don't want to miss out on a message that goes. So all our audiences who are listening to it, why don't you just note it down somewhere? Start analyzing the absenteeism in your organization. Start analyzing the half attempt from an employee because of his health issues in terms of towards his productivity in your organization, and then see what that cost is. And I'm pretty sure with what Mr. Katsumi have just said, if you really invest even half of it towards the benefit of the employees, not only will it avoid all those issues that you are facing now, but it will have a ripple effect in terms of positive energy towards your organization, your working. And this is quite an interesting fact because not many are thinking on these lines. And the world needs to think on these lines. The business houses need to look at from this angle. You just can't be, deducting leaves from an employee's leave card. You will have to actually convert it to dollars. Go ahead, Katsumi. I think this is how I could summarize the message for my audiences out here.
Yes, that's perfect. Yeah. And obviously if we're talking about big organizations that have a lot of employees, okay, but I can go even further and talk about the one person company.
Absolutely.
I need to put on my budget how much I'm going to spend on my health, because if I'm not 100%, I'm not going to be able to be productive as I wish to be in my own business.
Absolutely.
So that's something that people usually leave out. Yeah, we think about how much is the internet going to cost, how much is my fuel going to cost, how much I'm going to spend visiting clients and things like that. But we forget, okay, so how much I'm going to invest on my health to be able to do all that kind of stuff at an optimum level.
And continuously.
That's where I come in.
Correct. You are absolutely right. So, okay, coming back to what you are just talking about, even the solopreneurs, the small organizations, the medium organizations, one may very casually adopt to it, saying that, okay, I'm a single person. I don't need to have a health budget separately or this budget separately. But tell me one thing, at the end of the day, it's business, and it needs that particular person to operate at an efficiency level. If that efficiency level is not achieved, the business is going to suffer. That's for sure. And health, a personal health, have got a direct impact to it. Correct. So take us further from the journey. I'm sorry I've been interrupting you quite often, but then so let's proceed from there on. Tell me one more thing. Now with this health business or the health coach, health wellness coach rather, I would say, the way you love to get yourself named. Now, what is it actually about? What is this health wellness coach doing? What is this gentleman doing right now? So, can you just take us through?
Yeah, definitely. What I actually do right now,
Mm-hmm.
I work with people.
Okay, like what?
And I try to just bring the best out of them regarding their health.
Okay.
So as a coach, what I do and what my program is about is that I educate people on scientific facts about health in allness. Not just, oh, okay, so a lot of people come to me because they want to lose weight, but they leave the program after, because it's a definite timing program. They leave the program much more focused on their internal health and their vitality, instead of just, okay, I want to look a little bit better so I can look in the mirror and look how thin I am. And by doing so, and now I've started realizing that these people I have worked with, they became more productive in their own jobs. So I'm doing that shift to the businesses because I really see a lack of understanding and a lack of consideration in that aspect from especially the big companies, right? And allied with that, I also got to meet this amazing company that produces supplements, 100% natural supplements that can help with that journey.
Okay, I'll just hold you here. You talked about scientific facts. So health in itself is a science. We all know that. Okay. And despite being that, and despite we all being aware of, that our body is in itself an epitome of scientific experimentation that the God have done with us. But despite that, we tend to fall into the traps of, somebody telling us follow this diet and that's it, without even knowing us or without even knowing our lifestyle, or somebody telling us, you go and do this exercise and that thing and that's enough. Whereas what I could understand from what you are saying is you bring in a lot of analysis, a lot of database working around a particular person or around your own program also for that matter, and you try to match those data facts together, and that's where you are trying to suffice that person's requirement. So am I right in understanding this, or if I'm missing out the line somewhere, can you correct me out here?
Yeah, no, I think you got it pretty well understood. Yeah, but I would only like to add one little thing. The way the program works, I get the person to decide from all that information that you just got, what it's possible for him or her to apply on their own lives. Because it doesn't, like you said, if I just turn to you and say, look, you've got to eat this diet, you've got to do that kind of exercise, it might not just fit into your daily routine. So you're going to have to go really out of your way to do that. And if you have to go way too out of your way to do something, you're going to stop doing it.
Very true.
And the idea of being healthy is not a goal and then a set goal, a final goal. I'm going to be healthy. It's a journey. It's a lifestyle. So when I decide to take care of my health, I'm not going to look in 2 months' time, I want to be like this. I'm looking today, what can I do today to make my health better? And if I do that every single day, suddenly I just became adapted to a whole new way of living, a whole new lifestyle that will bring me closer to my optimum state. I don't preach you've got to be 100% healthy every single day, every single hour. It's not sustainable. What we need to do is just find that balance that, okay, so I'm going to be, most of days I'm going to be healthy, but during the weekend, I'm going to have that burger.
Fantastic. Okay, tell me one thing. Now, for a minute, just we will take you out of your role. You are no longer a wellness coach. You are no longer a consultant. You are just an entrepreneur, okay? And you are just a businessman for us for the next part of the interview. Now, tell us one thing. doing a business. Obviously, we are here for a business, and businesses are to earn profits, businesses are to live our desires, businesses are to fulfill our expectations, correct? As an entrepreneur, what is the biggest challenge that you face till now?
I would say to get the message across, because I'm coming from such a different point of view, that to make people understand and but being able to get people to understand the importance of this type of idea is the biggest challenge I'm facing right now.
Okay, let's
because
do.
when
Go ahead. You're saying
no,
something.
I was gonna say, because when we come to someone with a very different point of view, it does take time for the person to just digest that information.
Correct.
Yeah. So I think that's the main point, and that's the main challenge, because once the person understands how important that is in his or her whole life, then it's a very easy decision to make. Okay, I need to get that. I need to do that. I need to make sure my health is perfectly balanced. Yeah.
Sure.
So that I think that's the main challenge.
So actually speaking, you are the right fit for the revolving perspective, because you bring a different perspective altogether about a particular thing, correct? So that's how these collaborations happen. Tell me one more thing. I've heard you are a fan of collaboration. Okay, you love that particular word. You love that particular feeling. So give us some brief about it, very short, as to what this word means for you as a businessman.
Collaboration, I think, is the future of business. Yeah. Okay. We need to start thinking with a background of scarcity and competition, in the sense that if you manage to succeed, suddenly I'm gonna fail because you're succeeding. No, we just have to imagine like the tide, in the ocean. If the tide goes up, all the boats come up with it.
Correct.
Yeah, so it's not just one and the other one stays down. And collaboration in business, for me, has a lot to do with that. Because if we just come from a place of abundance and love and respect for each other, then if I can help you grow, I'm going to be growing with you.
Absolutely.
And instead of just meeting people and getting to know people with the idea of what they can do for me, it's much more in a sense that, okay, so what can I do to help you?
Yeah, correct.
It's going to come back.
Absolutely. And come back more multiplied, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay,
definitely.
Yeah, go ahead. You were saying something.
No, I was going to say it might be for some people that are listening, it might be an idea way too out there. Yeah.
Correct.
But it's not, because once you start doing that kind of stuff, and once you start coming from that place of love and abundance, you start meeting people that think the same way, and you start just connecting and coming up together. That's how I came to be here, through a collaboration group called Collaboration Global that I'm part of, and things just start connecting, and we just start evolving together.
Okay, tell me one more thing now here. This particular session is going to be watched from people across countries, okay, from Europe, from US, from Asia, and everywhere, okay. If I have to ask Mr. Katsumi, as a businessman, not as a health coach, okay, as a businessman, there are people around who are now looking at entrepreneurship as one more avenue of career right in the beginning of their careers, okay. So they are looking at, getting into entrepreneurship at a very young age, and then taking it as a full-fledged career. If I have to ask you three basic things that they need to be aware of, or rather they need to be cautious of before setting a foot on this journey for the budding entrepreneurs, what that message from Mr. Katsumi would be?
I think be ready for the challenge. It doesn't matter which area you're investing on or becoming an entrepreneur of. You're going to face challenges, and just realize that you are the person that makes everything happen. Yeah. Correct. So if it goes right, well done. It's on you. If it goes bad, sorry, it's your fault. Yeah.
Actually.
And once we realize that we have that responsibility, but also that power,
Hmm.
we just feel more energized to face those challenges. Yeah. Be aware of people that you're going to connect and collaborate with. I think that's an important one, because you might be faced with someone that doesn't have the same values. And then obviously at a certain point, the venture is going to just collapse.
Correct.
So make sure you have clear values. And a final one would be have a vision that's so crazy that when you tell people, they laugh at you.
Fantastic. I love this particular one. I love this particular one. Okay. Okay. Tell me one more thing here. Now, having said that, having given these 3 points of what you should be desiring of, or what you should be preparing yourself for as a budding entrepreneur, or what you should be cautious also for. Now, tell me one more thing. If today Mr. Katsumi is being given one power, one superpower of the earth, or of the universe, what is that one thing in this planet that you would love to change from the entrepreneurship angle, from the business angle? What is that one desire of yours where you would love to really create a difference right now in the place?
I would get people focused on health.
Quite a good marketing guy. Quite a good marketing guy, isn't it? You know how to market your profession, isn't it?
I hope I'm doing an okay job here, but at the same time, why I say health? Because when you change your physiology, you change your state. Yeah, I know quite a lot of people know about Mr. Anthony Robbins, and he says that quite often. Yeah, change your physiology, change your state. And if your physiology is functioning at an optimum level, your state is high. And when our state is high, we tend to attract better things and better people. And then that scarcity, that competition can go out of the window, and we can start working all together and think about not just us as humans, but us as a planet, because that also really, really needs to improve. Because if we're taking care of this vessel here, automatically I'm going to be starting to be aware of the vessel that we are all part of, which is the world. So once we start thinking of just the idea that we're not here alone, we are part of everything else, then environmental issues are going to be solved, people issues are going to be solved, and everything is going to prosper. Yeah. Absolutely. I know it's a very, very romantic vision of how the world could be, but it's so true that if we start seeing everything as just one, or oneness, if we may use that word, then we are capable of just prospering in that idea of love and abundance and collaboration.
You very rightly said, have such a crazy vision that people laugh at you. But believe me, romance is true provided you are crazy enough. So as you said, it is a very romantic view of the planet that you are trying to show us. But yes, if we all can be crazy towards it, romance is in the air, love is in the air, as Jill says many a times, isn't it? Okay.
It's going to happen.
One final question to you before I really wrap this up. I would love to go on and on, but then I can't help it in terms of the timing that we have.
No worries.
This last year, 2020, and this current year, 2021, have really opened up the eyes for many. And okay, despite not discounting what we lost as mankind, we lost many of our near and dear ones, but still, except for that fact, if I leave around, it have also been the years of blessing in disguise for those who can really make themselves out of it, or bring themselves out of it, try and understand the light at the end of the tunnel, and then start working towards it. I know for a lot of things you also have evolved from the last 1.5 years of whatever I've read about you. So any message to entrepreneurs in these days when the things are not going your way, when the atmosphere looks to be heavy? So what since you are coming from a health background, so I'm trying to, ask you this question because health is also to do with the mental state of mind. Correct. So,
Yes.
so what your message would be to those people around? How do they really bring themselves up, re-energize themselves, and come back to the mainstream back again?
If I could offer just one piece of advice, is that before you just go crazy, changing everything and adapting and adopting new ways of selling your business, of doing your business, find a quiet space.
Okay.
And that might sound a bit woo-woo, but it's going to make a lot of sense once you try it. Yeah. Every single day, separate 30 minutes, 1 hour, a couple of hours if you're capable of, for yourself, and take care of you.
Wow.
Because once you have that, your mind starts to clear up, and then the ideas start coming for you to think what the next step might be. But that half an hour, that hour, it's so vital. Just shut yourself from the messages that you get on your phone, all the Zoom meetings, especially all the news that has been quite heavy.
I agree.
These days, yeah. But take a walk in nature if possible. Do a breathing exercise, meditate, pray to whoever you believe or whatever you believe in, and do a stretching session, a home workout. I don't know. Just take some time to take care of you. And when you do that, suddenly the rest of the day just becomes much more accessible, in a sense of all the problems that are going to come anyway. Your head is clear to solve them and not worry or get in desperation even.
Katsumi, when I was coming for this interview and I was trying to prepare myself up in terms of the questions, I never knew this is going to be such a romantic interaction with you, because you will take us on a seventh heaven altogether, with health, with the topic of health and with the topic of nature, and then connecting it back to businesses. The most important aspect that I loved from your interaction was, one employee and he is down for a day is a cost. It's not a leave debited from a leave card. Okay. And that's important for all of us to realize, and especially for entrepreneurs who are solopreneurs, who have small teams. The smaller the team, the more crucial this becomes, because your resources are those many limited. Thank you very much for all this. I would have loved to continue this session with you. Maybe I'll find out the next chance to interact with you. It has been a lovely interaction with you, and the type of the activity that you are in, and the type of the energy that you bring for people around you, it's phenomenal. So my best wishes to you. Keep doing that and keep impressing all of us around. This is such a lovely thing that you are doing, and all best wishes from all of us out here. So, ladies and gentlemen, this was Mr. Katsumi taking us into the details with scientific facts, with his own research-based things, onto our own health, and then making us realize that our health is not our health alone. Our health is the health of our business. Our health is the health of people around us. We are not alone out here. We are here as a part of the planet. And if we start everything, like, the charity begins at home, the health begins with self. So if we can really be healthy, look at the planet around us, look at the people around us, start helping them. This world is a far better place to live in. And believe me, it is. So thank you, Mr. Katsumi. I'll take your leave now. It is such a wonderful session, and I am pretty hopeful that our audiences are going to love it like anything. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for having me here, GC, and obviously well done for all the work you've been doing on giving people like me a platform to just get the message across. So thank you so much for that. Really appreciate you for that.
Honor is all ours. Thank you very much, dear.